All right. Okay. Yes. So yes, your questions. Your questions.
Because based on the interactive game, I thought that you're supposed to kind of create tables or the charts and then kind of identify a trend or discrepancy in the trend to kind of
Okay.
evaluate whether the criteria was fair or not. But then I couldn't really find a trend when I compared the different criteria against each other, like what
Okay.
I thought the interactive game was doing.
Yeah. No, I mean, okay, this one is really an open-ended discussion. So it's really up to you. Like for example, like okay, how do I phrase it? Okay, so this was just to give students some guidance, because some students are like, oh, they're so open-ended. How do we even answer? So I thought, okay, this is just one way lah. If you want to use empirical basis to see whether there's any problems with the trend, like as I demonstrated with CAP, you can use that. Or you can show anything else really that may not gel well. You know, like basically, if we want to say that an intern is performing well, do we just want to rely on just one particular measure, or is there something else that we can refer to? Yeah. So you don't have to specifically use the example demonstrated in the interactive story.
But isn't that the second question? Like, because for the second question, we're supposed to think of a best criteria, and then we can choose one
Yes,
of
yes, that's right. So in the sense that, like, you look at the three directors, right? There's like money, and then what, satisfaction and all that.
like
Yeah. So like maybe you say this criteria and not got problem, man, not fair. It's a bit narrow. Maybe okay. So maybe there's no basis in it in the empirical. That's okay. Then you just look. You can look to somewhere else for. You can maybe refute it with some other means. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty open-ended actually.
Okay, but we'll still need to use the evidence in the data sheet to like support our answers.
Would be good if you can show evidence to support. That would be good. I mean, okay, maybe I adjust the expectations. All right. It's just a pre-tutorial discussion. Okay. So as a pre-tutorial, it's just for you to mess around, get the sense of how it works. And just stimulate your thinking. That's really what it's all about. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Yeah. So okay, do you have any more questions, Beverly? If not, maybe I'll just move on to Clarissa.
No.
Oh, okay, then yes, Clarissa, would you like to ask your questions?
Oh, sorry, I just came to attend to listen. I don't really have any questions.
Okay, no worries. Then I'll if any question comes up, you can just ask. Okay. How about Zhe? Do you have questions?
Hello. Sorry,
Hello.
a bit noisy here. Let me go inside my room. Sorry.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah. So basically, I was working on the pre-tutorial discussion this morning. Then I think I faced difficulty in the part 2, like to think of a new.
Okay. Yeah. That is tough, right?
Yeah. And the assignment asked to record like name 10 names, right? Then is there an easier way to like collate the names? Because I was like sifting out one by one. Yeah, looking at the data.
Okay. Wait, let me just open my Excel. Wait, where is my? Give me a while. Okay. What do you have other questions in the meantime while I search for my data set?
Oh yeah, the word limit. Will marks be deducted if I exceed the limit?
No, but don't write me 40 pages lah. Yeah. Last semester got one student, every pre-tutorial will write 40 pages.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as I mean, don't go crazy lah. It's not supposed to be a burdensome assignment. It's just to get you to play with Excel, get you thinking about like proxy measures and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. And because I've been working on part 1, right? I only compared like maybe one factor with another factor.
Okay.
And are we expected to compare like factor 1 with factor 2, factor 1 with factor 3? or just one?
Up to you. Up to you.
Okay.
Yeah, whichever you think works best for you lah. So okay, I teach you a quick way. This wasn't covered in the lecture. It's something that we will cover in tutorial lah. But I'll teach you now. You can highlight all your columns. Okay. Then let's say for example, I am just going to do the Mr. High Cap 4.99 criteria, right, of choosing the best interns, right? So you highlight the columns, then you go to sort and filter. Okay. Then can you see this thing, custom sort? Then you click on that. And then make sure it says my list has headers. Then you say I want to I want to sort by cap from largest to smallest. Then you okay. Then my top 10 names will be these people lah. Now if you have, let's say, 2 criteria or whatever, then you can, let's say, custom sort by cap and then by, I don't know, by number of customers gain or loss or something like that. Okay, then you choose and then it sorts accordingly. Then yeah. So you sort by this first, and then if the numbers are the same, then you sort this next.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that is custom sort. So yeah, you can go and play around with that also lah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay. How do I stop the screen share? Stop share. Okay. Yes. Any other Zeti, do you have other questions?
Oh yeah, so I was saying like the factors, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so if I compare like average team rating with customer gain or loss, then can I compare average team rating with, like, let's say cap or other factors, then
Okay,
I write
then
inside.
I guess the question is, if you, let's say for example you want to compare with cap, then what are you trying to prove by doing that?
Oh.
Yeah. So as long as your comparison has meaning and purpose, I don't mind. Like I don't want you to, because like last semester, quite a lot of students they just don't know what to do, so they just compare everything. But then it's a waste of your time also. You know, you panic and then you try to do all your pivot tables, but then it doesn't really serve a purpose. So you ask yourself, like, what am I trying to show? If I compare this with this, what can I show? If you have something to show or there's a purpose in it, then I don't mind lah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Okay, you're welcome. Okay. Li Hu, do you have questions? Li Hu, are you there? No. Okay. Okay. Well, I guess since you all are here, I will start to answer questions that were posted on the Google Forms lah. Okay. Okay, let's start with the first question. Okay, are there any key characteristics that can help us in identifying what is an optimization criteria and a constraint criteria? Okay, so optimization versus constraints. Now, this one is very simple. Optimization is always about maximizing or minimizing something. Yeah, so if okay, so basically an optimization approach can have constraints, right? Like you can have a lower bound or you can have an upper bound. Now, if you're not minimizing, if you have constraints, upper bound, lower bound, but you're not minimizing or maximizing anything, then what's going on? You're just solving by constraints. But if you do have the intention to minimize or maximize something, then you are optimizing. Of course, like for example, yesterday I spoke to one student, and then the student was saying, oh, what if I do like you need to go for therapy at least once a week. Now, when you say something like at least once a week, what's going on? You are saying that the lower bound is once a week. So your lower bound constraint is once a week. Now, the question is, how is this optimization? If that is all that you have, it is just a constraint method. But some of you are thinking that's optimization, because why? Implicitly in your head, you are saying, oh, minimally once a week, but you should do as many as you can. As many sessions as you can, that is your maximizing already. Then that is optimization. Okay. So yeah, if there is a lack of all this maximizing, minimizing, then it's not optimization. Okay. Yeah. So next question that I have in the Google Docs is, do self-imposed constraints have to be directly related to the problem, or can they be indirectly related as well? For example, quiz 1, the guy is trying to find the best deal for the latest camera, and the guy imposes a constraint that he must find by 7 p.m. So 7 p.m. is the constraint, right? Now, the thing is, there is an intention, okay, or rather it feels like there's an intention to optimize, right? I want the best deal, right? Best deal means the lowest price, correct? But is there any action that accompanies the intention to maximize, minimize? If there is no intention, there's no actual action to maximize or minimize, the intention doesn't really count. Now, the reason why I say in the quiz that you must have the intention to maximize or minimize is because past semesters, students keep reading optimization into statements. So I want to make it clear that we don't intend optimization unless we have explicitly stated it. Okay, so yeah. Jovin, do you have questions that you'd like to ask me since you just joined us?
Oh, hi. Hi, so sorry. I actually, the thing is, I only watched like the first lecture so far, and I don't really have a lot of questions. I just basically, I just basically wanted to know, like, I know it's quite basic, but like I know there's going to be a lot of Excel, but like, how deep are we learning the whole process of Excel, that kind of thing?
Well, okay, so in terms of Excel, the two things that will make you the king and queen of the office, okay, is pivot table and VLOOKUP. And then we'll teach you all that in lecture 2. And then after that, I'll teach you something called if, which we'll use in lecture 2 and lecture 3, okay? Then after that, we will start learning algorithms already, and then we'll learn how to do coding on Excel, yeah. And once you know coding on Excel, that is the thing that will make you very, very lucrative when it comes to internships. A lot of students last semester say they go for job interview, then they say, oh, I know how to do VBA. That is the coding language on Excel. Oh, they got the internship immediately, yeah? So yeah, that is what we're going to teach you. So yeah. So all you really need to master is pivot table and VLOOKUP, and then just enough VBA, yeah. We're going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to teach you how to code Tamagotchi on Excel. Sounds fun?
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So one last thing, because this was not really, this was more of like, I don't know if like, I made a mistake on my part or what, but basically like, I didn't get my tutorial slot for GT, so I don't actually have a tutorial slot.
Oh, your lordship. You need to contact Dean's office. ophelp@nus.edu.sg, because this is a big module. I don't do all these module registration things.
Sure, okay.
Yeah. So you go and ophelp@nus.edu.sg. Yeah,
OPL. Okay,
yeah.
thank you so much.
OP help. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So contact them, and if you still don't have, then you message. If by the end of the week you still don't have, you message me, and I will go and ding dong the dean's office because I think they are also overwhelmed by a lot of emails. Yeah.
Sure, yeah, because this is the only one that I didn't get, and I was getting a bit like confused. Like, oh, is it gonna be like allocated later now, or is it gonna?
Oh, no. Yeah. This one you have to do. If you don't get if you don't get a tutorial slot by a certain date now, they will drop you from the module. So yeah, so that's not good. Yeah. All right. Okay, and so I guess the rest. Okay, since most of you here are to just listen to the discussions, let me just continue the Q&A that was posted on the Google Docs. Okay. Okay. So the next question is how to do the pre-tutorial discussion. What if all I can think of now is the hypothetical situation, like we cannot do this method because maybe right? Even after using the data, I feel like there are a lot of missing gaps that I cannot explain without coming up with some hypothetical situation, mostly because I don't know enough about the big company, like what is the priority for the interns? Okay, now here's the thing. I'm trying to train you in a lot of real life situations where when it comes to data analysis, we are making a lot of decisions based on very, very limited data. Okay, it's not well, because yeah, there's a lot of constraints when it comes to data collection. So how then do we make the best decision out of the limited information that we have? And the scary thing as you go through this module is that you're going to find that a lot of people around the world are making decisions based on very limited data, and they're basing it on what we call proxy measures. So what is a proxy measure? Like in the pre-tutorial is a struggle because it is a proxy. We are using proxy measures to measure the performance of an intern. So for example, we say sales figures, for example. Sales figures doesn't really tell us whether the intern is performing very well, right? It could just be the case that the intern happened to sell something very, very expensive, right? Does it make the intern the best intern? No. So what we have is that you have a direct measure like total sales, okay? And then you have the interpretation that the person is the best performer, right? What happens? There is an interpretive gap between the measure and the interpretation. And that is something that we fill in with our assumptions. So in the weeks to come, we're going to teach you how to be more alert to all these assumptions that we use to plug in when we're interpreting data, okay? And how to assess this. Like for example, in the interactive story game, high cap 4.99, right? He says high cap is a measure of good performance. But then you think about it, the assumption is very weak, right? Not only is it theoretically very weak, there's no empirical basis for it, right? So, I mean, a good assumption to plug into a proxy measure would be one that is what? Theoretically not weak at all. And also maybe there's some basis in the empirical data lah. So that is something that we must train ourselves to be more aware of lah. Yeah. So yes, okay, next question. In the interactive story game, when trying to show that there's no evidence that interns with higher cap perform better, sum of net sales was dragged into the value box of pivot table. This resulted in the new header being the sum of net sales. Would this be an accurate comparison? Yeah, it will be an accurate comparison. I think because of the version of Microsoft Excel you're using, like in the version I use, when I drag it, I just get sum of net sales too. But I guess in your case, you got sum of net sales, so that's okay. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Yeah, next question. I foresee myself struggling with future quizzes. Yes.
I wanted to say I'm quickly leaving for a while, but I might come back later. Just wanted to thank you for.
Oh, sure. Yeah, feel free to come back in anytime. Sure. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right. Okay. See you.
See you.
Okay. Next one I have is okay. So a student asks, I foresee myself struggling with future quizzes because I tend to overthink, and I hope that perhaps this may help other people as well. When you say don't overthink, it kind of makes it harder to answer the question. Now, okay, I tell you a story why I say don't overthink. Because 2 semesters ago, I had one of the statements in quiz 1 where I said, oh, Marie wants to discover new eateries in Singapore. And then somehow students started to overthink, and then a group of them started to conclude that Marie has to be a foreigner. And therefore, because as a foreigner, she doesn't know everything about Singapore, and therefore the problem is not computable. I'm like, huh? Wow, that one is a bit, think a bit too far already. Yeah. So, in this question, the student asks, what approaches are considered as optimization approach? Okay, no, this is a repeat question lah. So okay, I won't answer that. Okay, at this stage, do you all have any new questions that you want to ask? No.
Hi, Prof. Hi, Prof.
Hey, yes.
Yeah, I'm 30. Sorry, I'm a bit noisy here, but
yeah, no worries.
I was just like thinking, I don't really understand what is an objective. Because I've been doing the lecture quiz 1, and
okay.
Yeah, I struggled quite a lot.
Okay. So now, problem, objective, solution, these are all very technical words when it comes to problem solving, okay? Now, it's good to know this because next time if you do policy or even if you do marketing and sales, or even if you do teaching, you also have to do lesson planning, then you also have to define objectives to solve a certain learning problem. So problem is a difficulty, a situation, or whatever, but objective is a concrete envisioning of what you want the outcome to look like, okay? Now, so what would be a good example? Okay, let's relate this to education, for example. Okay, when I teach a lesson, for example, then I need to define objectives. And the objectives is that at the end of, let's say, this quiz, okay, after doing this quiz, I want students will be able to do like A, B, C, and then we can actually measure we can actually measure whether the student is able to do A, B, C. Yeah. So that is in a sense what we refer to as the objectives. Maybe that wasn't clear. Let me think. Okay lah. Ziqi, do you read the Q&A in in the quiz? I
Yeah.
rewrote the thing. Still not very clear, is it?
Where can I get the Q&A? Because is it I need to attempt the quiz, then there will be the Q&A?
Yeah, the Q&A link is actually at the bottom of every question.
Because I I didn't want to attempt it anymore. Yeah, because I got
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Correct.
I sent the link to the
Oh,
Google Docs. You
thank
can find
you.
it over there. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Bevelyn, for sharing as well. So yeah. Okay. Let me just refer back to that.
Oh yeah,
Now, okay.
and sorry,
Yes.
like can an objective solve problems of different nature?
Okay. Can. So one problem, you can have many different objectives to solve that problem. Yeah. So objectives are different ways of thinking how we want the problem to be solved. So maybe some people think that the problem should be solved. Okay, let's take for example poverty. Okay, poverty is a problem, right? It's a very abstract problem. Now, we can solve poverty in very different ways. For example, like the socialists will say everybody should have an equal share of whatever, right? So that is one envisioning of how poverty can be solved, right? Then another one would be, let's say maybe the capitalists. I'm just oversimplifying things. The capitalists will say, no, then we will leave it to free market forces for the redistribution of wealth. So that is another concrete formulation of how they envision poverty to be solved. Yeah. So the problem is the same, but you can have different envisionings of how of what solving the problem looks like. Okay. Likewise, one objective can sometimes solve different problems. Say, for example, okay, let's say for example the dating problem. I used to use this in tutorials many semesters ago. So you have the dating problem. So the dating problem is, let's say for example you have no time, you cannot find people of the same interests, and yeah, you don't have a broad social circle. So then one objective can be to go and join an interest group, and just by joining an interest group, you actually solve 3 different problems of not having enough time. So now you set the time, right? Then you don't know people of similar interests. So by joining one, you will meet people of similar interests, and then you will expand your social circle. So one objective can solve many problems, but at the same time, one problem can also have many different objectives to solve it. Yeah. So yeah. I'm very,
Sorry.
yeah.
Does it mean that the nature of the problem must be same? The problems must be the same?
Not really. Sometimes the problem doesn't have to be exactly the same. Sometimes solving a problem in a certain way can by luck or fortune or whatever can also solve some other issue. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, lor. So let's say for example the joining an interest group. Okay. So maybe you didn't know, you weren't aware of the problem that you didn't have friends of similar interests, but by fulfilling that objective of joining a different interest group, then you realize, hey, suddenly I got a lot of new friends with similar interests. So that's kind of how that works.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, you're welcome. Hi, Clement. Thanks for joining. Do you have any questions that you'd like to ask?
Hi, I just wanted to ask with regards to the pre-tutorial. Is that all right?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay, because the question, or rather, one of the points, for one of the parts, is this lady called Mrs. Satisfaction.
Satisfaction.
Satisfaction. Yeah. Okay, because
Yes,
she
okay.
mentions 2 criteria actually, because she mentions like how we ought to consider how well the intern was able to work with his or her supervisor, or at least with the customers. So in terms of evaluation, do we look at both segments or do we just focus on one?
Your choice. This one
Is our choice.
Yeah, it's your choice. this one I really give you like freedom to just explore whichever direction you want to go with it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions, Clement?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Can. Hi Claire, welcome. Do you have any questions that you'd like to ask?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah, because I don't really understand about the, I mean, not don't really understand, but I'm quite confused with the two terms, the one on the constraint and the optimization, because in the quiz, all of them seem quite similar to me. Yeah, so do you mind explaining more about like what do you mean by like constraint and then like the optimization and then the one with the constraint and optimization? Yeah, these three concepts.
Okay, let me start from scratch. Let me try a different approach so I won't be repeating for the people who joined earlier. Okay, so constraints there are some problems that have inherent constraints. Let's say, for example, I'm trying to solve the transportation problem. Okay, now what is an inherent constraint? The inherent constraint is MRT. There's only one track for one direction, right? So so no matter how I want, I can only have one train on a track at a time. Or at least one train at the track or at the area at a time, right? Or even like the bus. The bus has a natural inherent constraint of a certain maximum capacity. The train carriage also has a inherent constraint. Now, then there are things like that we call self-imposed constraints. There's constraints that we impose because, you know, we want to solve the problem in a certain way. So for example, we say that let's say you want to study, you want to make time for friends and you want to make time for studies. So you can impose a constraint that you only spend like 3 hours a day with friends, you know. So that is a self-imposed constraint. Yeah. Now, the reason why I teach constraints and optimization is because for most of us, it's very intuitive. Okay, wait, let me take a step back. Constraints and optimization, they're actually very intuitive for the both of us, for us when we're solving problems. But usually when we're solving problems, the first thing we go for is constraint. That means, like, for example, you want to save money to go overseas. Let's say for summer exchange, not summer exchange, student exchange program, SEP. Then you say, oh, I need a certain amount of money by that day, by a certain period. So what's the most intuitive solution that comes to our mind? We impose a constraint. We say that we cannot spend from like our monthly allowance, we cannot spend more than X amount. So that is us imposing a constraint to solve the problem. Yeah. Now, I want to introduce a new way of problem solving. Actually, it's not that new lah. Like I think when it comes to deadlines, you all always do that. It's called optimization. Optimization is always about maximizing or minimizing something, right? So we want to, especially when it comes to deadlines or exams, we want to optimize our time. Yeah, we want to make sure that the time that we spend is worthwhile, right? So a solution is an optimization approach whenever we are trying to maximize or minimize something. That's it. That's it. Very, very, very simple. There is the intention and the action to maximize or minimize. Now, sometimes you might have to optimize within constraints. So to help you envision, you can think that there's an upper bound, lower bound. Some problems have a lower bound, some problems have an upper bound. Some problems got both, right? So you could say, for example, I want to spend as little money as possible, to save money to go on exchange, right? So spend the least amount of money possible. So that is your constraint. Sorry, that is your optimization. But then maybe if you spend too little money, what happens? Then you become very miserable, right? Every day you eat bread, drink water, and cry, or something like that, right? So then what? Yeah. So, okay. so then the thing is, well, maybe we want to live a little bit better, right? So let's impose a lower bound constraint that we want to spend the least money possible, but let's make sure we have some quality of life. So minimally, we should at least spend this amount of money every month, just to ensure that we don't become miserable. So that is lower bound. Okay. So this is why we have constraints. Now, sometimes constraints, if you go out into the working world, then problem solving, sometimes the constraints are imposed from above, from management or whatever. They will tell you, oh, you only have this much budget and you need to do this, or here are your limited resources. So I need you to optimize given the limited resources, like the new transport minister, what's his name? Ong Ye Kong, right? So government say, okay, now your transport minister, you have like, I don't know, 500 buses. I don't know how many buses we have, but 500 buses. So how do we maximize profit? How do we minimize wait time and stuff like that? So he has to solve all that problem within the constraint of or the number of available buses and trains that he has, you know. Now, where it gets confusing is this. In the statements, you have things like, okay, I'm going to repeat the example I said earlier. We say, for example, there's a minimum therapy. Let's say somebody is going for therapy, and then we say you have to what's the thing? Minimally, you need to go for therapy at least once a week. Now, at least once a week is a lower bound constraint. Okay, so just by saying that, it sounds it's just a constraint approach, but many of you are thinking, oh, actually this is optimization. But why is it optimization? Because in your head, you actually have in your mind the idea that you should go as many times as possible. Now, that implicit condition in your head, go as many times as possible, that is the optimization, maximize or minimize. Yeah. If all I say is spend at least once a week and you attend one just once, then you're not optimizing. There's no intention. So for example, another example is, let's say you have a budget of $50, okay, to buy, let's say, a birthday present for somebody. So then you happen to just spend $50. Okay, so your budget is $50 as the upper bound, and you happen to spend $50. Were you optimizing? No, right? Because why? No intention to maximize or minimize. So it just so happened that you spend $50. Okay, or let's say your budget is $50 and you spend $1. Did you optimize? No, it just so happened that you spend $1. Yeah. So yeah, Claire, does that help answer your questions?
But can't we understand, like, oh, you spend $1, you are like optimizing the money, like you spend the least amount of money.
I mean, in at least in the context of the quiz, you don't know the full story behind it, right? So you cannot assume that the person is optimizing. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, let's see. Isabel, welcome. Do you have any questions that you would like to ask? Hi, Isabel, are you there? Okay, maybe, or JD, do you have questions that you'd like to ask?
Sorry, can I just check with regards to your optimization and the constraint approach?
Sure.
So so how you distinguish between the two is based on the statement as much as possible or as little as possible.
And
in
anything
terms of
that implies maximizing or minimizing.
So if it's like straightforward, I have $5, but I spend $4.99, you wouldn't classify that as optimization because there's no context.
Yeah, there's no, as I said in the question hint, there must be an explicit intention. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so this one is just coincidental. Yeah. It's like, for example, I might have imposed a budget on myself to save money, and I just happen to fall within the budget. I wasn't actually going out of my way to optimize. It just so happened that the thing I wanted to buy happened to be within the budget. Like that lah. Yeah.
So is it like the optimization only when there's a problem, then you try to want to solve it, and then there's this approach? But if, example, like the earlier on the budget, I just happen to spend $4.99 instead of $5, so that's not really a problem because I spend within my range. Is that how we can understand?
Okay. I don't know what you mean by problem over here. What I'm saying is, okay, if it's a $5 and you weren't going out of your way, okay, your intention was not to maximize or minimize. It just so happened that I bought something that is $4.99. All right. So it is within the upper bound. So okay, then it's just within the constraints. But I didn't solve it intentionally using optimization. Yeah. So unless I actually, like, my solution or my intention, I actually went out of my way to try to spend as much as possible, but within $5. That one, there is an intention to optimize. So example would be, let's say the birthday present example, right? I want to buy the most expensive gift that I can afford within $50, because $50 is all I can afford. Then you buy the $49.99 present. That one, you are optimizing lah. Yeah. Is that clear for you, Claire and Clement?
Just one more example with regards to timing this time. So
Okay,
I would want to spend as much time as possible to perhaps maybe learn guitar. But now because I have so many things on my plate, the best I could give was only 3 hours. So in this case, we will still consider it as optimization
Correct,
because I want to
because
spend as much time.
correct, because you are trying your best to spend as much time as you can, and the best that you can is just 3 hours.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you.
Very good, very good. Yes, you got it. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Hi, Serene. Do you have any questions that you'd like to ask? Serene, no question. Lisa, Isabel, do you have questions that you'd like to ask? Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Oh, okay. Sorry, I just saw your chat. Serene asks, can I know what's the use of equal sign inside quotation marks in the criteria argument for sum if, average if, or what is the reference? Sorry, can you give me the whole formula, Serene? Because I cannot remember the formula. I think if wait, yeah, I cannot remember what was the formula that I used. Okay, I tell you what, let us do some Excel together, all right? So let me just share the screen. Share screen, and wait, where is Excel? Okay, let's just use this for example, okay? So we can do some if, okay? And then we do the range. So we want to find all the people. Okay, so let's say I want to, okay, I think Serene is asking about this. And then, okay, so she's asking why is there a quotation mark equal sign NUS? So what we're doing is we're saying, okay, some, wait, okay, so what we're saying is look at column D, okay? Look at column D, and then the formula says equals to NUS. So if column D equals contains the word NUS, then what do? Then you sum the values in column F. That's what the equal sign is saying. Now, why is this? Now I can change things also. So I can do, let's say, H. So sum if, or average if lah. Never mind, sum if. So sum if, and then we look at the age, and then we want to sum for those people whose age is less than 20. Okay, less than 21. Okay, comma, and then if the age is less than 21, then we will sum up the values in column F. Only for those people younger than 21. Just like that. So if I can also change it, I can put more than 21. Yeah, so that's what it's all about. Yeah. Okay. So,
okay,
yeah.
so for your example, right, the NUS one, so
Yeah.
if you don't put the equal sign, would the answer still be the same?
Well, I don't remember, so let's find out together. Okay. Yeah, that's the fun of computers, right? You don't know, then you just try. Okay, so we do look at column D, and then what? Just don't put the equal sign, right? So we put like this, and then you say, then we add everything here. Can, yes, it will work even if you don't put the equal sign. So basically, we're just saying as long as it contains this thing can already. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right. Anyone else with questions? Isabel, Lisa, JD. Let's see. Or Jia Yuan, you just joined us. Hello. Do you have questions that you'd like to ask? Anyone with questions? Yes, Lisa, you are allowed to ask about the pre-tutorial. Can you maybe just unmute? You can just unmute and ask away lah. Don't be shy about asking live. Yeah. Oh, your laptop has no microphone. Oh, okay. Oh, oh, that's going to be a problem for your tutorials, eh? Yeah. Because we do need you to discuss with one another over Zoom. Yeah. Okay, while Lisa is typing her question, let me, does anyone else have questions to ask? If not, I can just...
Me, yeah.
yes,
Can I ask another one? Yeah, so
go ahead.
is this not about the lecture content lah, but can I just ask, like, what is the quiz, right? The marks, right? Which is a more like a better mark? Like, it shows that you have understand all the concept. Is it 10?
Yeah, 10.
So if you get below 10, then you should do the test again.
Ideally.
Okay.
Because I thought this semester I'm experimenting with letting you all see the grades, because what happened was last semester I pushed the coding a little bit stronger than the previous semesters, and I realized that students actually didn't bother to, because normally what happens is that after every quiz, once the deadline is over, I will release a video explaining the quizzes, and only 1/3 of the cohort watch the video. So what happens is you have 2/3 that had a lot of misunderstandings and they didn't get it right. So when we came to coding, they all like suffered and died lah. So the hope is that by letting you see the score, then you realize, oh, actually my understanding got problem. So I should go back and try to fix the understanding, because the first 6 weeks of lectures is to prepare you, to give you all the theoretical concepts and understanding, so that when we start coding, it will be easier for you. Yeah, so it's very important to try to get at least more than 10 lah for the quizzes. Yeah. Okay, so Lisa is asking about the point system. So you're confused. Well, basically, if you're going to do any kind of mathematics that doesn't really make sense, for example, I give you an example. Earlier today, a student asked me, like, he computed the average of one column, and then he computed the average of another column, and then he says, can I just sum up the averages? What does that mean? What does that actually mean? In I mean, mathematically we know, like, it's just the sum of averages, but what does the sum of averages mean? It doesn't mean anything. Yeah. If you say, for example, you take something and you divide by like time, then you get a rate. A rate means something, or you take something and you divide by the number, then you get an average. Average means something, right? But summing up averages doesn't mean anything, right? So it's a bit of a lazy thinking. A lot of people like to think that, oh, as long as I just put a bunch of things together, I get a number, then the number will make sense. So I'm trying to push you all away from this what I call lazy thinking, because you get a number, so what, right? You get a number and you're just ranking people according to all these numbers, but it doesn't actually have any meaning per se. And so I want you to think more critically about the kinds of conditions that we use, because people just use numbers to evaluate stuff without really thinking about what that means. Yeah. Yeah, like mod rec. Mod rec uses a point internally. It's using a point system, right? So it assigns weightages and to your ranking and stuff like that. Doesn't mean anything, and then that's why all of you get very frustrated with mod rec, right? Yeah. So that's an example, lah. Yeah. So yeah. So Lisa, does that answer your question? Yeah. Okay. I'll wait for Lisa. Okay. Let me think about it. Okay, can slowly think about it lah. Not sure, can ask me again. So hi Daryl, hi Yuan Jie, welcome. Do you have questions that you like to ask?
Hi, can I ask a question?
Yes, Isabel, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so regarding the extreme values on the Excel sheets, right, where the mode may be very far from the average value.
Okay.
Yeah, so how do we, is there a way to identify the specific extreme values?
Oh, like where is the extreme value coming from, is it?
Yes.
Okay, can. Let me share screen and demonstrate. Okay. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so you go to filter, okay? Then you click the down arrow button. So can you see you have all the numbers over here? So you can go and find who is this joker with the extreme value. Let's say 1.02 is extreme. Then you just select and then is this. You know how to pronounce this name? It is out of stock. Yeah. It's a please help me. No more toilet paper. Iron rice bowl. I love GET. Yeah, so okay. Yeah. Must have fun learning lah, like that, right? So okay, so you can knock yourself out reading a lot all the names.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Yes. Yeah. Questions. Don't be shy to ask.
Sorry, Prof. Can I ask?
Yes.
I just wanted to clarify for myself. Yeah, like can I say that an objective is like a solution to a problem, which is the situation? Does that make sense?
I want to distance it from the word solution because the solution is how you arrive at the objective. The objective is the final product, the final outcome.
Okay.
Yeah, because you know why? Sometimes you can have one objective, but you can have different solutions that can arrive at the same objective.
Okay.
So okay, just a crazy example that came to my head lah. Let's say for example, Singapore population is 5 million, and for whatever reason the new government says we need to reduce our population to 4 million. Okay, so the objective, so the problem is too many people on this island. The objective is to reduce to 4 million, measurable, right? What's the solution? So one solution is to murder 1 million people. That's not a very good solution, right? The other solution is to somehow send out 1 million people elsewhere. Anyway, you can think of all kinds of solutions. Basically, you can have a lot of different solutions that will somehow bring you to the objective, the final end, which is 4 million. Yeah. Okay, that was a crazy example, but I hope that helps to explain.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. Yeah. Okay, so yes, any other questions? Yeah, Daryl, Yuanjie, no questions? We got a new person joining us. Oh, JD. Hi, JD. Do you have questions that you'd like to ask?
Professor, I'm Zhe.
Hi, Zhe. Yes.
I want to ask regarding about the part 2.
Okay, part 2 of pre-tutorial. Yes.
When you say to propose the best and fairest way, is it to list out the step-by-step or to justify why you think like this
that
kind
is the best? Yeah, why do you think that is the best and the fairest lah? Yeah.
And when you say pick one or two criteria, like 2 columns in the data set, so like Miss Like Money and Mrs. Satisfaction.
Yeah.
Both of them they actually their points are good, but then they did it in isolation. So if I want to say like I want to combine their 2 ideas together.
Okay, then you tell me why that is best and fair lah. Why is it that combining these 2 is best and fair? Yeah. Of all the other things, of all the other possibilities out there, why is this the best? Yeah.
So before I combine them, do I have to like criticize like why they cannot do it alone, like solely?
That would be good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. It's pretty open-ended lah. So you can just basically explore whichever way that works for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, so does anyone want to ask? If not, let me read out the next question that I have on the Google Docs, all right? Are inherent constraints forces beyond our control, like 24 hours in a day? Yeah. So this is It's still a constraint. The first quiz asks questions like which use constraint of, oh, that's a repeat already, so I don't really need to answer that. Okay. Okay, there are students who ask for the pre-tutorial Excel sheet. I cannot find number of transactions, average sales, and average customer service under. This was actually mentioned in the interactive story game that you have to actually do it yourself. Yeah. So yeah, just I've already run through the pivot table with you, so you can just drag that around and make it lah. So yeah. Then next question: how do you add additional slicer in pivot table? How do you use slicer? Okay, so let me share screen. Do you all know how to use slicer already? Don't know? Okay, then never mind. I share screen and show you how to do slicer. All right. Okay, share. Okay, so. Okay, so let me teach you. Now, how do we make a pivot table? I tell you, pivot table is the best, man. So you don't need to type Excel formula. You just highlight all your columns, then you click insert, and then you click pivot table. All right. Now, what is the whole point of slicer? Let's say let's say I want to count the number of students in the university. Okay, maybe not university. Let's say I want to see the by major and by age. Okay. So this gives me a breakdown. Okay, I have a 20-year-old from biological sciences, a 23-year-old from biological sciences, right? Now, I can then put in a slicer, let's say by university, okay? Now, what's going to happen? If you look over here, I have all these universities, right? But let's say I just want to see, how about the people from NUS? Then I just click NUS. So these are all the people from NUS. On the left, I can see the major. On the top, I can see the age. So I have a 23-year-old from computer science. I have a 20-year-old from econs, a 22-year-old from econs. Then let's say I don't want to see NUS already. I want to see SUTD. Then SUTD, then I have a 20-year-old from biological sciences, a 22 from economics, and a 25-year-old from sociology. Yeah, so that's how you do the slicer lah. Yeah. Ta-da. Okay. Yes. So let's see.
Mr. Sim, so the slicer actually is sort of like a filter, additional layer of filter.
Yes, that's right. The slicer is a filter. Yeah, it's a lot easier to use than filter lah. That's why I teach slicer instead. So slicer very quick. You can just slice. Oh, let me share screen again and show you one other cool thing you can do with slicer. Okay. Because slicer I can just slice and see like NTU, right? Now if you hold down the Shift key, you can also select. You can slice and see NTU and NUS. And I think, can I do this? Like on the Mac, you press the command button, then you can select a few things also. So I can choose NUS, SMU, SUTD. I think on Windows is the control button. Yeah. So you can slice more than one thing. Yeah. So this is something that that will make it easier. Now, how is this better than the what you call filter function? Because you can add additional slices. Okay, when you're starting out, try not to go crazy with too many slices. I mean, I'm just going to give you as an example. Okay, so I can do this and I can slice a couple of other things. I can see like NUS, and maybe I want to see people with from 7 to who gain customers. Okay, so this will allow me to see that of all the NUS interns that gain customers, these are all the people lah. And then I can see who are the people who lost customers from NUS. Yeah, so this will do it lah. So filter doesn't give you that kind of flexibility to do that. Yeah, so slicer you can slice as deeply as you like to slice.
Okay,
yeah.
thank you. So
okay,
another question.
Yeah.
Another question is that because the pre-tutorial there are like two parts, right? Like for part one, I'm not very sure. Like, what do you mean? Like the basis for the criteria of evaluating interns, because the three of them like money, Mr. Mr. More People, and Mr. Satisfaction. Well, that one I do not pronounce, but yeah, satisfaction.
Yeah.
Satisfaction. Like, do you think about performance? Like, especially Mr. Satisfaction, what was very subjective. Like, because able to work with his or her supervisor, or at least with the customer, there's like two criteria given.
Okay, that one I leave it open for you to choose your own adventure lah. Which you don't have to do everything. Like if you think satisfaction, you just want to talk about like let's say customer satisfaction. That's good enough already. I just leave it a bit open so that you can pursue any line of inquiry that you're comfortable with lah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Mr. Sim, so you so it's more preferable to go in depth, right, into like one of like each direct.
Yeah. I prefer depth rather than breadth, because breadth, if you just go for breadth, all you can just do is just say very superficial things. So if you can, so depth will be better lah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay. So let's see. Hi, Daryl. Hi, Hazel. Hi, C. Do you have questions that you'd like to ask? Don't be shy.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi, Hazel. Yes. How can I help you today?
Is it possible that I ask like a question about the pre-tutorial thing?
Can.
Do we have to find like the average sales per transaction or per customer?
You don't have to. You can if you want to. Yeah.
So we still can stick to the total net sales.
You can stick to total net sales, and it's up to you lah. Basically, this is just an exercise for you to think about what measures are useful or helpful in evaluating certain things, especially when it comes to proxy measures where interpretation is required. So this is where we really need to start thinking, what will be a good measure, and what kind of assumptions are we plugging in that makes sense? Yeah. Because right now, I'll tell you this, when you go out to do internship or when you go out to work, you're going to find that a lot of proxy measures are used without any thinking at all. People just say, oh, it makes sense, law, then they just use. Yeah. I mean, now you are university students. Like sometimes I give the examples, you all will say don't believe, but actually like last semester, a lot of students go out to do internship, then they say, hey, actually a lot of the proxy measures my company use don't make sense. So that's actually the reality that we're dealing with today. Yeah. So I'm just getting you all to think about all these things so that next time when you go out and do your internship or work, you start thinking more critically about these issues. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Mr. Sim, so like for the data sheet for the Excel spreadsheet for the pre-tutorial one, right? So like we can still use the same one as what we do for the interactive storyboard, or do we need to download a new one?
No. You can just use the same one. And then if you want to create more columns, go ahead and create more columns lah. Yeah. I noted that many students ask that they say, oh, there's some columns missing or whatever. That's actually because the interactive story game, one of the passage did say that you're supposed to create those columns yourself lah. So make more columns if you like lah. Yeah. Basically, just have fun experimenting, messing around with Excel and see what you get lah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, let's see. Lisa says, I think I understand what you said, but at the same time, I don't understand. Oh, that's a very normal experience at university. I understand, but I still don't understand. So can you give a simple example, explain how averages or rates is considered better, and it's not just blindly using math? I mean, it's better in the sense that it means something, right? And an average means means that I'm very bad at this kind of things. How do you explain an average? It's just the total thing divided by the number, right? So you get the sense of that lah as an average. Okay, no, let me rephrase that. Okay, things like average, mode, median. Okay, a simple way to think about it is basically a mathematical way of answering the question. If I take a stone and I throw it at a random sample, who is the most likely person to get hit by the stone? So when you use, let's say average heights, okay, let's say the average height of everybody in the class, right? Then let's say the average height is 1.6. Yeah, okay. So what does that mean? Average height of 1.6 means if I take a stone and randomly throw at somebody in the class, okay, I won't do that lah. But if I do that, then chances are the person to get hit by the stone is going to be around 1.6. That's what average means. So that makes sense. A rate is the rate is how much something increases or decreases at a particular time or something like that. So that makes sense mathematically, right? But if you just like add numbers together without thinking about it, then there's really no meaning behind it. You know, like if I ask you to explain, then you'll be like, don't know, right? So that's why I'm trying to avoid you're going in that direction of just blindly summing numbers up to hope that it means something lah. Yeah. So I hope that helps, Lisa. Yeah. Any other questions? I have a question on the Google Forms. Could you give more real-life scenarios of optimization and constraints coupled with optimization, other than in the context of money? Or, okay. Money is the easiest. I already gave the example of public transportation. I know. Let's talk about canteen. FAS's canteen will soon be renovated also. Yeah. So if you notice, your science canteen and the computing canteen and engineering canteen, okay, science canteen renovation is done already, right? So what's going on? Because why? We are trying to, it's an optimization problem that they're trying to solve, right? We want to optimize the usage of the canteen, okay, given the change in student enrollment numbers. Yeah, because after the, year 2000 is Dragon Baby, right? So after the year 2000, the birth rate actually dropped. So it's quite a sharp drop. So the number of students has dropped significantly. So then the thing is, how do we, so just leaving the canteens as they are would be a waste of space. So then the question is, can we repurpose some of this extra space for other things? So then there's a question, what is the optimal number of chairs that we can have in the canteen to be able to handle the number of students and staff that will eat in the canteen? So that is where optimization comes in. Then your constraints will be, you know, it must, let's say, must have a certain number of chairs for whatever reasons or whatever, you know. And the constraints is the space. Space is also a constraint, right? The size of the chair is also a constraint. So these are the things that will come into the consideration. Yeah. So your arts canteen will be renovated eventually, very soon, I guess. Yeah. Lisa asks, so if you explain what we are doing, we should be fine. Yes, as long as you can explain and justify what you're doing, you're good. Yes, that's right. Okay, you're welcome, Lisa. So, okay, anyone with other questions? So, looks like no more questions already. Don't be shy. Can feel free to ask. Yeah. If you want to have fun, we can just ask other random questions that don't have to be course related also. Yeah. JD, do you have questions? I mean, you've been here you've been online for a while already. Yeah, don't be shy. Yeah, I ran out of Google Docs questions also.
Hello, Professor.
Hi,
I just wanted to ask about for the activity lecture 2.1, the activity 1. I just wanted to ask, I was trying to use the submit function because I wanted to know if I can use the submit function to count how many F&B, like how many of the transactions are within the F&B category, but I cannot see, I don't know how to formulate the formula.
Okay. Now, if you just want to count the number of F&B transactions, then you shouldn't, then sum if is not the correct formula to use. What you want to use is another formula, it's called count if.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. let me demonstrate for you, okay? Let me just open up the Excel file. This is 2.1 activity 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so where is my Zoom? Okay, I'm going to share screen. Okay, can see the screen?
Yes.
All right, so sum if, okay, let's just talk about F&B. So we want to, so we say look at this column, all right, and then must contain the word F&B, okay, and if it has the word F&B, then we will sum the amount, okay. So this is the total spend for F&B. Now you wanted to count the number of transactions, right? So you can do this count if, okay, then look at this column and then find the word F&B. And then if we have, then, well, up to you, any column lah. Just we can choose this column as well lah. And then, no, this one has only 2 inputs, sorry. Just range and criteria. So enter. Now, you notice here got $71, right? Actually, it's not a currency lah. So you just change the formatting. So there we go. Yeah. So that is the count if function. Now you can also use pivot table. I know pivot table is lecture 2.3 or 2.4, but let me just demonstrate. So you can highlight everything, then insert, pivot table, then you press enter. Okay, and then I want category. I can drag category into the rows or the columns box, it doesn't matter. Okay, and then we can just count. So what do we count? We can just drag anything into the values box, and then you see here it says count of description. So this will tell us that there's 71 F&B, 1 miscellaneous, 8 shopping, 54 transport. I can transfer like this, you know. So yeah, and then if I have the day column, then I can also do this, and I can see that on Sunday, I got 12 on F&B, 12 on Monday, also 12 for F&B, right? And all these other things. Yeah. And then we know that the person does shopping on Sunday, Friday, and Saturday. Just like that. Yeah. So this is the power of pivot table. Don't need to type formula after that. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Hi, Posuan. Do you have any questions that you'd like to ask?
Oh, hi. I wanted to check like regarding VLOOKUP, because I tried to follow the lecture video, but I didn't manage to get the like how it is done in the video.
Okay. VLOOKUP is which lecture again? One
2.5.
VLOOKUP. Oh, 2.5. Okay. Okay. So what do we want to do? Okay.
Well, how about I share screen then?
Okay,
like you
very
can
good,
see.
Okay, come.
Can you see my
yes, I can see
the Excel sheet, right?
Yep.
So like it's equal VLOOKUP. Then like if I want to search, what? Like if I want to search this transaction, then I have to go to this list and search the entire list,
Yes.
right?
Yep. So
and then
okay, I know the problem. I know the mistake already. Okay, after you selected the transaction, you're supposed to press comma. Because you didn't press comma, your Excel thinks you're still searching for the first input.
Oh.
Okay, come. I share screen and demonstrate. Okay. Are you boiling water? It sounds like your kettle is boiling.
Yeah.
Okay, so VLOOKUP, you see equals, okay, you can see my screen, right? Equals to VLOOKUP. Now, you see, I want to say, look for this transaction ID. Then I click on it. Now, because, notice, look at the first input. It says A2. Because I didn't press comma, when I go here, you notice it changed? The first input changed. So that is the mistake. So what I want to do is I want to click on A2, then I press comma. Now that I press comma, when I go to the other spreadsheet, it doesn't change. The first input still remains A2. Then I can select. Then I say break pull column 2, 0, like that. Yeah. So what was missing was your comma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So after you select, okay. So I replay again. So basically, you type VLOOKUP, all right? Then we say, find this transaction ID. Then press the comma on your keyboard. Then what do? I say, find this transaction ID in these 3 columns. Now, very important, VLOOKUP, the column that shares the same information must always be on the left. So just now it was transaction ID, right? So transaction ID must be on the left. If transaction ID is on the right, VLOOKUP will not work. So you need to move the transaction ID column to the left. Okay. So then I say pull column. Let's say I want to bring column B. Now A, B, C. B is the second column. So I put number 2, and the last input is a 0. 0 is always says exact match. Then you enter. Just like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then you can continue to VLOOKUP and pull the rest lah. Yeah.
But they give me a number instead.
They give you a number?
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to share screen? Because I'm not sure what your,
So it's VLOOKUP, then comma.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Then like that. Comma.
Yep, correct.
2, 0.
Okay.
Correct.
Yep, correct. Then enter.
But just now they give me a number.
Because
what's the?
Wait, go back to that formula. Because you selected the wrong spreadsheet.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're doing it right.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks.
Very good. Do you all look at all the silly names? Bi Cheng Hyung, Lao Chang Ki, Yu Yan Sang. Okay. Yeah. Anyway. Yes. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah. Hi Iwang. Do you have questions that you'd like to ask? Welcome to the clinic.
I still don't have any questions yet. I'm just here to see.
Okay. Can. No worries. Yeah. Yeah. So, would you all like me to explain Excel stuff or anything like that? I spent the first hour talking a lot about lecture 1. Would you like me to talk about lecture 2?
Okay.
Any burning questions that you might have? Post-one about lecture 2 or anything like that?
So far, not really.
Okay. Yeah.
Able to follow.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I really rushed the past few days just to redo lecture 2, huge portions of lecture 2. I just went to redo it because yeah. So okay lah. I mean, gain the experience of teaching two semesters already. So now I know what can be improved. But okay, so let's play with Excel. Okay, wait. Let me just share my screen. Share screen. Okay, let's use this as an example. Okay, now what are some tricks that I guess I can teach you some interesting tricks. Okay, let's start with there's one thing that I didn't teach in the lectures, but it's something worth learning. Okay, which is this. You can highlight your columns. Okay, and you can under sort and filter. You can use custom sort. All right. So make sure you have this, my list has headers, then you can select, I want to sort by, let's say, like by date, or like by, by date and maybe by rating. So what's going to happen? Okay, it's going to sort by date and then by rating. So I'm going to get so all this is within the same day, the same date, right? So the 3 stars will appear first, followed by the 4 stars and then the 5 stars. And then the next day, then 2 stars, 3 stars, and 4 stars, like that, right? Now, we can play with the filter function, okay? Of course, filter function, okay, one good thing about the filter function is that it will show you everything that's actually written. So if there are duplicates, then it makes it easier for you to be able to filter through, all the things that are duplicated. Oh, I know. Let me go back to this. Now, one of the things that students encounter, okay, is they say that sometimes they try to do this. They filter, and then let's say I want to filter F and B, okay? So I'm looking at all the F and B, and then sometimes students will do this. They do sum column E, okay? And then they think that because I filter already, when I sum column E, I will get only the sum of F and B. Actually, not true. Oh, no, sorry, it's not column E, it's column F. Actually, it's not true, because why? You notice on the left over here, everything is blue. It's telling you that the rows are hidden. So this number is actually the total sum of everything in here. So that's not, so when you play with filter, that is not how you do a sum. If you need to do it this way, what you should do is after you filter, okay, you see all the rows are hidden, right? Now, when you copy, you notice when I do the Control C, there is all these dotted lines. That means it's going to just copy only the ones that I can see. So now when I paste, right, I will only get only the F and B things. So if I do the category, I do the filter, you see, I only have F and B in this list. So this is something to take note of. Now, one other thing that you might want to know is when you do a pivot table, okay. Now, one thing I am a bit unhappy with about pivot table is in this form, you cannot do very much. So if you want to manipulate this, you have to copy, and then you create a new spreadsheet, and then you paste. And then you see this little button over here, then you click it, and then you choose, where is it? Match destination formatting, is it? No. Okay, again. You go to paste special, and then you just choose values, all right? Now, once you do this, then you can make whatever changes that you want to make, because here in the pivot table form, it's very hard to make your changes. So if you paste it in a separate sheet like this, you can do whatever changes that you want to make. Yeah, so that will make it easier for you as well. Let's see, what other tips and tricks that can I teach you? Okay, let me teach you another interesting trick that you can do, which is, let me find the one about the duplicates. I'm teaching additional things because, just to reward you for coming here to this clinic session. Now, let's say the problem I have now is I have a lot of duplicate matriculation numbers, and all I want is just the unique ones, right? So what can I do? You select the column, then you go to data, okay? And then can you see this button, remove duplicates? So you click that, and then you click OK, and you see 8 duplicate values found and removed. So it has just eliminated all my duplicates. Yeah, so that's another cool trick that you can use. Yeah. Oh, there's another cool trick. Let's go back to this. Okay. No. Let's use. Okay, now sometimes when you type your formula, it's easy to get a bit lost and confused. So one cool thing you can do is you can, where is that button? Wait, Okay, trace dependence. So under formulas, then you see trace dependence. So you click it. Why? Is it trace precedence? Sorry, trace precedence. So you click trace precedence, it will tell you what are the cells that are being referenced by this formula. Okay, so for example, I do a formula where I say this plus this plus this. Okay, then I click trace precedence. Then I know that this cell is influenced by the information that comes from those cells. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so this is a good way to track where your formulas are pulling the information from. Yeah. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Yep. Yeah. So yeah. Any other? Yes.
Just a curious question. Like, is there a way to like hide the column? Like, for example, just assuming that like we have a lot of data and like a lot of columns, but we just want to compare like maybe a few columns. But is there a way to hide without removing the entire thing?
So you see, like, let's say I want to hide column D, right? Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say I want to hide column D. Then you just right click, hide. Ta-da! It's hidden.
Okay.
Then I want to unhide. You make sure you highlight the 2 columns. Then you right click and then you click unhide. Then it comes out again. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can do that. Another neat trick is this, because usually when you download data from your like office server or whatever, all the columns are the same size, which is very annoying like that, right? You can highlight all your columns, right? Then you just move your mouse into the middle until your mouse cursor looks like this, right? The 2 arrows. Then you just double click. Ta-da! Auto resize. Right. That makes your life a lot easier. Now, another trick you can do, okay, is this thing called split. Okay. Let's say I want to see all my headers, and let's say I want to see the date and time. So I can just drag this accordingly. Okay. Then after I've dragged it accordingly, I can click freeze panes. So what's going to happen now? When I scroll up and down, you notice that column, that row 1 remains, and column A and B also remain. But I can keep scrolling left and right to see my stuff, and I can still see my column A and B and my row 1. Yeah. Then if I don't want already, I just unfreeze panes and remove split. Then it goes back to normal. Yeah. Pretty cool stuff, yeah? Pretty cool. Yeah. Now, one thing you can do also is, let's say you forget how to do your Excel formula, there's this FX button. So FX, then you, let's say VLOOKUP, then they tell you then you slowly fill in this information yourself. Yeah, this is a template to help you, so you don't have to just keep typing all this formula. Yeah, so that's another thing you can try. Yeah, I don't know. Do you all have other questions about Excel that I didn't teach or cover in the lecture? I'm trying to think what other things I can teach you. Yeah, I think that's all the tricks. One thing I learned from students, which I didn't know for so many years of my life about Excel, is that you can right click the tab, okay, and you can color code your tabs. So let's say this is an important tab, then you can color it red. So that's something you can do. Yeah. Yeah, I think I've already covered all the tips and tricks already. Yeah. All right. Oh, I have one new message. Thank you, Prof, for the tips. Oh, thank you. Yeah, you're welcome, Clarissa. So I hope this helps. Yeah. Yeah. Any more? Okay. You're welcome. Okay, you're welcome. So I guess we're done. Do you have any more questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, so well, okay lah. I guess I'll end the session now. So thank you so much everyone for coming. And yeah, if you still have questions, just don't be afraid to ask. Oh, sorry. Did any of you have a question?
Hi, Prof.
Yes.
For the assignment, right? Do we have to submit the Excel sheet that we work on?
Pre-tutorial, right? Yes. If you go to Luminous, you see. Oh wait. Oh, I'm not sharing screen. Wait. Let me share screen. So you go to Luminous. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So you go to Files. Pre-tutorial. So I have one folder for Excel, one folder for your Word document.
Okay. Do you have to name our Word document?
Sorry. Do we have to what?
Name like a specific format for the submission.
Yes. It's all written on the first page of the instructions. It's over here. So where is it? Please name like this. Your metric number, then your name, then pre-tutorial 1.x. Okay. I'm not doing the grading on Turnitin. So I need you to name put identification on your files, because if you don't, then your assignment will be nameless and I won't know whose assignment it is. Then I won't be able to mark it. Yeah. So it's very important to put your name on the file and in the document. Yeah. Then yeah, I know it's very lengthy. I tried to make it shorter, but this is the best I can already. I think that's the problem with humanities people. We talk too much. Yeah. Yeah. Okay lah. So I tell you what, I think it seems like that's all the questions that you all have already. So I just want to say thank you so much for coming. And yeah, if you have any more questions, just don't be afraid to ask me again lah. Okay. So yeah, then okay, thank you. So bye. See you.
Thank you.